Out, damn spot. Out, I say. Yet who would have thought the Titanic to have so much water in her? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? Oh! That's better. There were 3 silent films made about the Titanic. All of them were made within the same year that she sank, and 2 of them have survived 110 years. That is impressive in and of itself when you consider how many movies have been lost to time because people didn't think, maybe we want to hold on to these stories that we create and not just move on to the next project. And these silent films are significant sources for how quickly the Titanic fell into public consciousness and how the world reacted to the sinking. The Obsession is a French silent film. It's only 25 minutes long, so at least it's over quickly, and even in 1912, the Titanic was being used as a plot device. The story centres on an upper-class French family, specifically the wife, Madame Trevoux. Her husband is planning to go to America on the Titanic. At the same time, she is introduced to a fortune teller. The fortune teller reads her palm and tells her that one of her family members, either her husband or her son, will die very soon. Terrified, she insists her husband not go, but he does anyway. And that is when the ship sinks. I can't explain it, just watch. I know I shouldn't laugh at production effects from the start of the 20th century, given how spoiled I am now, with everything from CGI to motion capture to green screens and puppetry. Back then all they had were miniatures and matte paintings. By the way the ship just sort of teeters and then goes under all at once, I just could not control myself. This is absolutely hilarious. News of the sinking reaches Madame Trevoux, and her son suddenly falls ill with the shock of his father's potential death. Madame Trevoux is convinced that the prediction has come true. However, it is soon revealed that her husband miraculously survived the sinking and he'll be on his way home soon. But then she fears that her son will die instead. Trevaux's godfather has come to see her during her husband's absence and decides to beat the fortune teller at her own game by having her read the palm of Madame Trevoux again, this time while the rest of her is concealed behind a curtain. Unfortunately, the scene has been lost to time, so you'll have to take my word for it. It turns out the fortune teller was deliberately conning innocent people so she could retire to the country with lots of money. The key reason this film was made was to denounce fortune telling as a con. And let's be honest, it is a con. As is shown in the film, it can cause emotional distress. The fact her husband was on the Titanic was a coincidence. She was led to believe that he would die because, at the start of the film, he is told not to get on the ship from an anonymous letter. But he decides to go anyway, because the thought of being on the maiden voyage of a beautiful new ship would be a flex. Madame Trevoux was put through needless trauma because of it. Thankfully, she came out of the experience unscathed, just lacking a few francs. At the end of the movie, her husband has returned and she tears up a business card for another fortune teller, offering palm readings. Such a happy ending. Okay, but why did the Titanic have to be in it? Even for 1912, it seems like making your film relative to something that happened recently was the only way it could be remembered this far in the future. It's odd to see tragedy being appropriated as far back as 1912. Makes you realise we never lost any values, because we've never had any. We've always been terrible. In our next Titanic video, we'll be looking at another very old movie that was made about the eponymous ship. A movie that was made in the middle of 2 world wars, made in a year on the brink of economic disaster that would define the decade that followed. Can you guess what's going to be from the teaser image? Until then, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember, the video after this is also available to watch on Patreon ahead of time because I made the first 4 ahead of time. And if you want to watch it, go ahead and sign up to my Patreon page, link in the description. And you can get scripts ahead of time, videos ahead of time. You'll get your name in the credits even if you are contributing the lowest tier, or the Lord and Lady tier as I like to call it. And of course, if you're a wonderful person like Anastasia Gracia, Alison Cuff, Larissa and Lady Eternal and Leslie Williams, then you get to have your name in the credits and have a shout out like these lovely ladies here. And of course, yes, this is only the 3rd of 17 Titanic movies, and there is going to be a link to the playlist anyway, so maybe you'll be watching this from the playlist and you're just waiting for me to get on to the next video, in which case I shall. Don't worry, next one's coming.